everyone. This Black Friday has been just as big as all the previous Black Fridays. We've had huge amounts of traffic and our customers have been hugely successful. Never have retailers and brands needed so much content. Content is needed for personalization. It's needed for contextual experiences. Sometimes you even need special variants of content for different channels. Right now, for many businesses out there, producing content is an extremely slow and difficult experience. Many big enterprise e-commerce retail businesses struggle to react to events happening in the market because it's so difficult and so slow to create content. A big part of the problem is the process to actually create content. There are huge numbers of dependencies, limits in capacity due to specialist resources required. It's really difficult to understand how you're actually going to scale your content operational teams to produce the volumes of content that you need for today's personalization, contextualization, and multi-channel environments. So in this video, I'm going to take you through how to make your content operations more productive using agile methods. So let's waste no more time. Let's get to it. So the reason why even the smallest piece of content takes so long to produce in many businesses is that ultimately content production is a waterfall process. Often for historical reasons, the teams have been siloed into their own specialities, such as design teams, creative teams, copy production, front-end development teams, business teams, merchandising teams, marketing teams, which create a huge number of interactions and interdependencies. It's these interactions and these interdependencies that cause drawn out production processes. You have rework, you'll have lots of wait time between the processes, and also switching costs in the individual team as they move from one project to another to do their own unit of work. The interesting thing I find is when I talk to businesses that have these problems, they always seem to have the emergency fast process that just gets the content out there and just gets it done. And when that happens, it's often because it shortcuts the larger, clunky process. So these kind of problems have already existed in many other industries, such as software engineering and manufacturing. And those processes have been improved through lean and agile thinking. Lean manufacturing has increased production speed and capacity by understanding the whole process. And it does this by improving each of the production activities and handoffs with a focus on reducing waste, lowering setup time between activities, reducing the queuing times between handoffs, reducing the number of handoffs, and my most favorite one, reducing the work in progress. So reducing the work in progress may seem counterintuitive because many of us think by doing lots of things in parallel, you'll get lots of things done more quickly. But it's been proven time and time again, both in my own experience and in many other industries, that it's better to keep things moving rather than just keep people busy. And it's this thinking that can be applied to these content production processes. You can think of content as the value item passing through specific activities to get the final article of content, much in the same way as you can think of a car passing through a production line. So in summary, lean is about optimizing a process as items of value flow through it. Agile is less about a process and more about incrementally developing an item of value using smaller interactions. So now let's have a look at Agile in the context of content production. So why Agile? So content production is a creative process. It requires many iterations with multiple people from many different disciplines. Large deployments of content can be delivered much more quickly because they're broken down into smaller chunks. And this allows businesses to be more reactive to an ever-changing environment. So to get to a more agile content production process, what do you need to do? Well, it'd be quite easy for me to say, well, just get an agile content production CMS and it's all done, right? No, it isn't as simple as that. There are many things you need to change. Technology is one of those things, but there are many other things. And one of the big items you need to think about first is your team structure and your organizational structure. Rather than having hierarchical teams in different departments based on specialisms, you need to start building multidisciplinary teams. In agile development, we call these squads. Each of these teams has to be self-sufficient. They have to have all the skills available in the team to produce the content that's needed. There needs to be the concept of a product owner or a concept owner that helps the team to set the priorities of the work they need to do to produce the content. And if there's one element that I've seen that really disrupts this is the resistance to change. Some of that can be down to the fear of losing power within departments. And some of it might be overlapping business KPIs. So assuming you've got your squads, your multidisciplinary teams, all gathered together to produce content, the next thing you need to think about is how do you run those teams? And it's not about having more process, it's about having better ways of collaborating. And to do this in software development, we use the concept of ceremonies. And one of the most powerful ceremonies that we have in our teams are the morning stand-ups. And this allows the team to work together in reducing dependencies and taking out those blockers. And rather than big planning activities with milestones and big waterfall plans, in software development, we have backlog grooming. It's when the team get together to basically size up the work that they've got in front of them. It's understanding at a very high level how much work is involved in producing all these items of content and then prioritizing which items of content you'll do first. And the final ceremony I would recommend is that of retrospectives. It's when the team gets together and looks at what they've been doing over the last month or the last few iterations. And they get together to work out how they can improve communication, collaboration, or any of the smaller processes within the team. Many of you will be watching this video going, that sounds great, John, but how do I even get there? It just seems like an insurmountable task. However, it is possible to make some smaller steps towards an agile process from the beginning. And that's where the discussion on lean thinking comes in. So by looking at your whole content production process and start analyzing all the activities and working on how to make those activities more lean and make the process more lean, you'll start to move your content production, your content operations more towards an agile mindset. The people involved will become indoctrinated in all the new ways of thinking. And once they see the benefits of lean thinking and agile, they'll be much more passionate about making further changes. You will also need new tools for this. You can't rely on the same tools that you had before that had waterfall built into them. And that's where the principles of MACH architecture and technology come in. Using software built from MACH principles has the agile mindset built into them. So it is possible to create a kind of stairway to get to an agile content production process through changing your organization, altering processes for ceremonies and collaboration, using lean thinking to help optimizing your current processes while you start getting new tools that are based on agile principles. So if you found this video useful and you like this video, please can you scroll down, press the like button. But for now, it's time to say thank you, goodbye, and I'll see you next time.